Hello, family. I am back for another little chatty chat. Be doing some big mixing and mastering on the album. That shit is pretty much 99% complete, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about your mind. I want to talk about our mind. Because, well, not because. Recently, I have this book that I've read since I was like 17, over and over again. Actually, first I heard it on audiobook. It's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's like 50 pages. Audiobook's like 50 minutes. And throughout my life, I've listened to it over and over again. And I'm realizing how much information like this about the human situation, having a mind, being thrown in this world, having information about that situation has been very valuable to me throughout my life. I'm realizing the value there. So I ordered like a few of these books, and I've just been giving them out to my family essentially, and friends, I guess. So I'm gonna give it to some people who are just as tokens, like, here you go, you can have this. Because even if they don't read it, it doesn't really matter. The book costs like $4. And if they do read it and it in some way fucking inspires them to see their mind a bit more, then holy shit, that's worth infinitely more than $4. So I thought, if I'm giving it to my family IRL, then I need to give it to my Raze family. So I'm going to read a little bit to you. I'm going to read a little bit of the start. And you can also let me know if you like me reading shit to you, because I can definitely do that. I like reading stuff to people. But otherwise, if you hear a little bit of it, you don't like it, that's fine. If it intrigues you to a certain point, I'll put the link to the audiobook down below so you can listen to it. But here, I'll read you a little bit now. The start. Alright. I might paraphrase when necessary. I think it's about 50 years old, this book. Maybe 70. So we begin. That this book is not intended as an exhaustive essay on the much written upon subject of thought. Rather, it is suggestive. Its object is to stimulate us to the discovery and perception of the truth. The truth that we ourselves are makers of ourselves. By virtue of the thoughts which we choose and encourage, that our mind is the master weaver, and both of the inner and outer garments of character, the outer things of circumstance, and that as everything has been up until this point woven in ignorance and pain, that we may now weave in enlightenment and happiness. So that's just the forward. That's just a little dab of what this thing could possibly be about, okay? And also, I should put it forward. When I gave this book to my mum, right, she got a bit stuck on the fact that she's a woman, and this says, as a man thinketh. I need to clarify. This is as anyone thinketh, okay? As a human thinketh. Think of it as a human think of it. It's not man, woman, anything. It applies to us having thought. Do not be caught in this division, okay? Alright, I'll continue. So, this is by James Allen. We get into the very beginning. The starting chapter is thought and character. The aphorism, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, not only embraces the whole of man's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of our life. A man is literally what they think, their character being the complete sum of all of their thoughts. Our character is the complete sum of all of our thoughts. As the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thought. Every act that comes forth from our character rises first from thought. anything that we do cannot come just from nowhere. All things have cause and condition. Shout out my Buddhist brothers. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated, those that we, for example, were put in a circumstance and never thought we would have done something like that, as similarly as they are to those actions which have been deliberately executed. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus do we garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of our own husbandry. Our own actions that have sprung forth from the thoughts that we have allowed to grow will give forth to the fruits that we enjoy in this life, whether we enjoy or whether we suffer from them, whether we eat bitter fruit or whether we have mangoes, is all dependent on our awareness of the thoughts first, and then the cultivation of which thoughts we allow. If we allow the cultivation of a bunch of jackfruits, then our shit's gonna stink. But again, jackfruit's fine. That's just a little joke. Alright. I'll read a little bit more and then we'll let you go and explore it. And you can tell me if you want me to read more, but there's plenty of audiobooks of this already out there. Thought in the mind has made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If our mind has evil thoughts, then pain comes upon us. The wheel... Oh, right. As comes the wheel, the ox behind. If one endures impurity of thought, joy follows him, as his own shadow. Man is a growth by law, and not creation by artifice. Cause and effect is absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought, as is in the world of visible and material things. Cause and effect is ever present in all realms. Things do not just materialize. Things do not just happen without prior consecutive actions. Alright, let me just look. I'll finish this paragraph. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favour or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking, the effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts. An ignoble and bestial character, by the same process, is the result of the continued harbouring of grovelling thought. We'll leave it at that. You can tell me if you want me to read you more, or you can go and read/listen more yourself. You tell me whether it's interesting, you tell me whether it inspires you or not, or whether Dylan, RAZEGOD, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, you tell me how you're feeling from this. But to summarize very briefly where the book goes on. Our thoughts and our mind filled with thought. No, let's not even get that conceptualized. Mind is likened to a garden in this book. And the plants that arise within the garden are likened to our thoughts. Most people are aware of this garden not as a garden of their own cultivation, but rather as a forest they are apparently within, that they have stumbled into finding themselves in. They've suddenly they're suddenly human again, and they perceive this mind, this garden of thought, as a forest that is external to them. However, this is wrong thought. This is wrong conception. Our mind is a garden of our own cultivation. There is nothing within the mind that has not grown apart from our having watered it, in the sense of having shined light on the thought, progressed the thought, allowed it to blossom into act. So the first thing we must do is become aware that our mind, our thoughts, are not a forest external to us, but rather a garden that we have cultivated, and that we can cultivate specifically by choosing to engage in which thoughts we want to align ourselves with and which we do not. That's how we cultivate our garden. That's how we transform our mind and the world around us. And that's a brief summary of As a Man Thinketh, As a Human Thinketh by James Allen, read by RAZEGOD. I love you all so much. I'm going to read to you some more and talk to you some more very soon. Endless love. Endless fucking love, my family. Holy shit, I love you all so much. So fucking much. I